So a lot of stuff has come out on this dash side. One of the things that was involved was that piezo headlight warning buzzer. So I made myself a jumper wire, which is plenty long enough to reach to the relay that I'm putting in for the ignition source. So before I put the dash in, I'm going to reconnect that piezo buzzer, and part of it is connecting this to the ignition wire. It's a slightly different kind of connector, but I think I'll get a contact, and that's all that I need. I think I'll get a good contact because it's tight. Wish I could see how far in I have it, but I can't. I do not have the correct plug, but it's a male pin in there, and I have a female spade connector that I'm putting the trigger wire on with. So now this needs to be plugged into the ignition. There's a spade connector on there, and this needs to be plugged into the lighting, the lights connector, and I need more light. So, where is the ignition one? That's going to be that third one up, because it's the only one that is open. So this gets to go in there. And this is the kind of tangle of wires I'm trying to avoid on my new wiring, because they're all intertwined and go this way and that way and tangled, and oh, I may have a problem here. It's possible that the reason they had this wired that way looks like the same kind of connector. They had the thinner wire hooked into that ignition switch. I want the thicker one hooked direct to it because I don't know what it powers. And it just seems like a good idea to have the thicker wire, which would provide less resistance on whatever takes more. Wonder if I'm trying to plug it in the wrong direction. Let's try it this way. You can't even hardly reach this. You can't even hardly see it. And to see it and reach it at the same time is really a challenge.
I know it was in there. At least the other plug was. Oops, I almost put it on the wrong one. Oh, I see. There is a direction. There's this little tab on it that leads to fit. It's easy once you line it up the right way. Okay. So now the piezo, other part of the piezo buzzer needs to get connected to the instrument, or to the lights. Lights. Now I know this is the exact same plug that came off of this. So let me figure out if I can see which way. Okay. Part of that, you can't see them and reach them at the same time. I was trying to plug it in the wrong, that wasn't even a plug. But now I think I see it. There we are. Now I probably should zip tie that up. Let's see, I could zip tie it right in front of the fuse box so it'll make it worse on the next person that comes by here. I don't want to do that. Okay, let me reach it. The zip tie. I think I found a place I can do it. Put it in a place where it's easy enough to remove if I have to. Without taking the dashboard down. Okay. Now, I've got to run my hot wire over about there somewhere, and it should be just long enough. So now maybe I can actually start the actual install of the dash. And I wish I knew what to address first. There's several things that need to be connected that you can't forget. One would be speedometer cable. There should be a tack plug here somewhere. The tack is on the opposite side of the light switch and speedometer, so this will be the tack. Okay. And I have a light switch, a bunch of lights. A couple of vacuum lines for the light switch. And I think I need to take that down. That's the zip ties I just put in to keep the wiring harness out of my way as I was working. Need a pair of cutters to cut that zip tie because it didn't come off easy. So I'm going to take over a Phillips screwdriver and my bag of screws that came from the driver's side of the dashboard. And these are all kind of a mishmash of screws here. Not sure what goes where. I keep hitting my head on that strap I used to hoist the body. Okay, so that can come off. And this can kind of come down. These are the wires for the, I don't know if you can see them, they're the wires for the power window. So hopefully those speaker wires will be accessible after I put this in. Wondering if it'd be easier to put the harness on first, or whether I should plug in the lamps and such. Okay. I got to get this closer. Bunch of gray wires with light bulbs. I can tell for certain that they go to the back of the speedometer. Except I can't read them from here. Gray, light green. Gray, and okay, there's a ground wire here that needs to plug into the back of the speedometer housing. With a light blue. And a light green. I see the light blue. I see the light green. Okay. Light blue. That's probably a turn signal indicator. Gray one here that will reach. Green one. Trying to find all the gray ones so that I know which ones reach which places the easiest. That looks like it's a really long one, so that's probably good for the upper. There's another really long one, that's even longer. Okay. How to get these over here without making them a mess. Gray. A light green. Take this under this way because it's, I think, going to be better to the gray up here. A ground wire. Fits on this tab over here. And another gray that goes into the back of the speedometer for just lighting. Okay. That's everything on the speedometer side except for the light switch, 2 vacuum tubes, and speedometer cable. You know, looks like if I switch this light out with one with a longer wire, it will work better. So the longer wires, can't say this is kosher, but the longer wires, I'm putting them back in to the 2 lights that are closer to the center of the car. And then, yeah, that seems to work better. Okay, so that's pretty good, I think. Now I need to find all the stuff for the pack side. That's all this bundle of stuff right here. Okay, there's a dark blue, 4 grays, and a pink and tan. Pink and tan, I just saw it. Pink and tan's right there. I hung up on part of the console. So there's a couple grays over here. Those appear to be the longer wires, the closest to the closest to the door this time. Okay. There is should be a ground wire in here somewhere. I haven't located it yet. Okay, dark blue went to the bottom of the thing. I believe that's a turn signal indicator. Tack wire. Three prongs. That's in. Whoops, I put a gray one in where the dark blue was supposed to go. That's not good. Okay, dark blue's in where the dark blue's supposed to go. And I need to shift my position here because it's getting old. Okay. I find my ground wire. That goes onto that little tab on the bottom. If you watch the tack repair video, you'll know what I'm talking about. There's gray wire and another gray wire. Let's do the longest one on the top and the shortest one on the bottom. I don't know if that's right, but that's what I'm trying. Now, okay, all the wires, except for the light switch, are connected. I have to get this wiring harness up on these 2 pins, or holders, whatever. Okay, behind that one, and get it behind this one, and I've still got my speaker wires hanging out, so they should be accessible. Get past there. Okay, now I'm going to bend these wiring harness holders down so that
that wiring harness stays put. That will actually help me hold up the dash a little bit. Okay. Let's get this trigger wire up. There's two vacuum hoses that go to the light switch. Don't think it really matters which one's which, but one was longer than the other, so that's how I put them back. The longest one was furthest from the... And a light switch connector, which has a gazillion pins. That wasn't too hard to get lined up. Okay, what else do I need? Big one, speedometer cable. Let's see if I can see that, where that goes. Of course not. The nice thing here is that I have the speedometer cable loose because I just put the new one in for the new transmission. So I have some play in it. I just got to find the connection. There it is. It's now a lot lower than I thought it was. There it is, and when I get it in, it should go in with a click. I did this on my 74 for the tack cable with a lot less room than this, so I don't think this should be too much of a problem. Let's get some more play. Maybe I should have pulled that in and done it. Oh, there it goes. Clicked in, cannot pull it out. Okay. So, should be ready to go up. Now all I gotta do is figure out what's the best way to get it up there and start a screw or two so that it stays. I'm gonna try this one right here. This is a little bit of a challenge to pick it up and hold it and start it left-handed, but pretty sure it can be done. What am I running into? The gauge clusters appear to be hitting on where the steering column. We'll see. Almost there. I think I'm going to try to get something there to hold this up. And then see if I can stick my head under there and figure out what's holding it up. It's probably something simple. I don't know how easy that will be to resolve, but so there's one screw in for sure. that one's long enough. Okay. These screws are all mishmash of everything. That's definitely catching. So I've got 2 in. That's not definitely catching. Neither did that one. So what's happening is they're screwing into the dash panel itself, but they're not hitting the retainer they're supposed to hit. So they're feeling like they're tightening up, but they're not. Doesn't even seem like they're long enough. See if we can get that one started. It's close for sure. Nope, that didn't catch. Okay, that one caught. There's one of those little clips that goes around something on the other side of that. There. Finally caught it. Okay. Now something is preventing me from putting the bottom of this as far back as it should go. I've got to get my head under there and see if I can find out what it is. I think I found it already. I think it's the reset for the odometer. That cable is hitting on the mount where the steering column would go.
see if I can figure out where that thing should go. If I can pull it to one side or the other and have it fit, it'll go right in, I think. Yep. I hate to do this, but I gotta take this one out again to get that one free. But the good news is, once I get that free, it should be easier to line these up. Okay. That seems to have done it. And it still works. Seems like it should still be a little bit easier to get that bottom in. See if I can start this screw again and then take another look underneath. Back underneath to see if I can find anything else that might be holding me up. Whoa. Good thing I came back underneath my ground wire on my speedometer cable side is off. That might actually be what the biggest problem with it going up was. Still kind of bound up. I can't see the wire that came off the ground wire. Can't even see where it's at. I know it's off because I see the pin. I hate to have to take this all back down just to see that. Found it. There. Not much light under here to get it lined up. I hope that's the only wire that came off. It's on. Now if I can extract myself from under here. Maybe I can get some bolts in. I'd say that made me feel old, except I know I'm old already.
Okay, I don't know how much of that I got recorded because the battery ran out while I was under the dashboard. So I'll briefly state three things that happened. Number one, and actually I think the cure for them all is the same thing. You need to put that dashboard in a little bit to the left of center, maybe an inch. Because what happened was, when I put it in, first of all, the cable to reset the odometer got caught on the mounting for the steering column. Second, there was a plate on the back of the speedometer that prevented it from going in, because it hit that same bracket for the steering column. So, and third, I knocked off the ground cable for the speedometer whenever I put it in. I think they were all related because they all hit that steering column mounting plate. So you kind of have to put it in bottom first, a little bit to the left of center, and get it everything past that plate or that mounting for the steering column, and then everything went in. Prior to that, and I don't know if this may have been on the video, but the bottom wasn't going in. And when I finally got it in, I tilted the top of it back toward me, lifted up on the bottom, made it a little bit to the left, and put it in, and it went in fairly smoothly. So that's in. I've got 3 screws holding it in. I'll put a couple more. And maybe I'll try to put the piece of air conditioning duct that I put together in today, and then that probably will be it, because frankly I'm kind of whooped.